Hello, everyone. I started talking a little bit late there. Um, where you're at right now, there's some offer. There's some offer on the table. Um, this feels like from a person. Um, this feels like, yeah, it's definitely an offer from a person. Um, with the Ace of Pentacles, this offer of a stable nature, right? A slower, gradual type of thing, right? This is leading to inevitably this is kind of putting you in your feelings, right? Um, this is really making you sit in your emotions, right? And understand what it is that you're feeling. For this person, for this situation, right? Um, it's making you sit in your heart and realize how you feel about this person, right? And how you really feel about them. And I think this is the best possible outcome, right? Which is Five of Swords, kind of useful action, right? Um, Decisive, useful action. The how I see this from both of your sides, right? It's you and this other person, right? You will be in your feelings. You will understand how you feel about this person. You will understand what you really want, and I'm feeling a lack of confidence, right? I'm feeling a real lack of confidence where maybe you don't quite know what you want, right? At least from this person, right? You don't quite know what it's supposed to be. You don't quite know what you're okay with. Like, you have real feelings for this person, but you don't know what to do with them, right? Um, like, you don't. There's a lack of confidence in if you should take action on these feelings or not. And really, like, from this card, right, the best possible outcome, I could see either one of you stepping forward. I could see either one of you taking the leap, right? Um, but what's really interesting, at the end of this, we have the King of Wands in reverse, right? Which to me would say a lack of passion, a lack of action, a lack of, right? Which is really interesting. I felt in this energy before I turned on the camera, right? Um, and I felt like I had a pretty clear message. Um, it felt too short. It felt a little. Maybe you're not seeing everything, right? I don't think you have the full picture of what's really going on. I want to ask what this like confusion is about here. I'm pulling an extra card here, maybe a couple. We'll see what comes out. Okay. Okay. You are used to this, right? You're used to people coming in headstrong, right? A lot of passion, a lot of fire, right? Maybe even like kind of love bombing, right? Like a love bombing, like very fast moving, chaotic kind of energy, right? With this in the reverse, especially, right? Yeah, I don't really see this as a lack of passion necessarily. Not with the card that came out, the King of Pentacles, in the upright, right? Yeah. You are feeling a little clouded, right? You're a little bit. That's what it is. That's okay. Okay, this all makes sense now. I needed another card. Um, this offer is actually stable, right? It's from this King of Pentacles, right? Ace of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. He's offering you that pentacle, right? He's offering you this slow building, like, see where it goes type of, like, and I haven't shown these yet, but this is so cool. This is, like, actually so significant and, like, beautiful. Because I think just how I was struggling to do this reading, I think you are struggling very much with how to see this situation, right? You're struggling with the perspective. You're struggling with the, like, what does this all mean? Why are they acting like this kind of thing, right? And I think that's coming from a place of you really feel for them. And the thing is, what they have offered you is stable and real, right? It's real and grounded. And there's this, right? This is a pause, right? This is you stopping due to melancholy and weakness, right? This could even be your perspective of them, right? You're like, why aren't they moving forward? Why aren't they, like, rushing after me, right? Because you're used to that King of Wands type of energy, right? And probably a very toxic type, right? And this is like the Three of Chalices, right? Also in the position of what to cut out, right? I had 3 cards come out in the position of what needs to be cut out. This is 1. Okay. 4 of Cups. 3 of Cups. And then 4 of Pentacles. Alright. This is like, they may have brought you an offer of friendship, right? A friendship, but a real loving connection has a foundation of friendship, right? A real loving connection has a foundation of friendship and trust, right? That builds over time, that is a little bit slower moving, right? Like, I'm not talking about years, right? But like a month, 2 months, 3 months, like something like that, where you just genuinely, like, spend time together and talk to each other and figure each other out, like, be in each other's lives for a little bit and see what's up, right? I think you're in this headspace where you're like, if they aren't rushing towards me adamantly, right, with a bunch of passion, like trying to get in my pants, like that type of thing, if they aren't doing that, then they just want to be friends, right? Then they just think of me as a friend, then they just right? And because you feel so much for this person, you want it to be more, right? You want more from this. And the thing is, like, it can turn into that, right? It absolutely can. I'm not saying it will. I'm not saying it absolutely must, right? But their offer is genuine, and they're trying to build that with you. They're trying to see if that's an option, right? They're trying to see if it can turn into something. They're trying to see if it can turn into something. I think this is something that would be really good for you. I think if you gave this a chance and relaxed into it, I think it would be something that's really good for you, right? You coming out with the Queen of Chalices here, I don't think you're supposed to be taking action here. I think you're supposed to let them drive the boat. I think, like, how I saw both of you could, yeah, absolutely. But I think if you do that, I think if you step forward, it will only cause delays, right? It will only cause 1101 as I looked up there. So that, yeah. It will only cause delays because they're coming forward in this very stable, consistent, forward-moving energy, right? And they have a plan, right? They have an idea. They have a timeline, right? They have, they're thinking, right? They're thinking of how to give to you, how to like keep this offer on the table, how to keep going, how to make you feel safe, right? These type of things. And if you start to move forward, right? What that would signal to someone like this is like, I guess I could probably pull on it, but that's not what this reading is about. If you took a step forward, if you tried to push things, if you tried to speed things along, right, that would cause this person to pull back. That would cause this person to rethink things, right? That would cause this person to have to reevaluate, right? It would probably cause some type of hiccup in the connection, right? Because they are this, right? And I think if you moved forward, it would make them feel like I keep pausing before I talk about this card and what they would feel. I think that's for a reason. I don't think I'm supposed to talk about how they would feel, right? I don't think I'm supposed to talk about how they would feel if, right? Because I have an idea in my head, but I just keep getting stopped before I say it. So just know if you took the action here, it would probably just delay things, right? This is meant to be a slow-moving, slow-building, safe thing. And I think if you relaxed into that, right? Don't put your life on pause, right? Don't put your life on pause. That's not what this person wants you to do. They're not asking you to put your life on pause, right? They're not asking you to put your life on pause. They genuinely are seeing if there's something here. And if this is a person already in your life, right? Think about how long they've been around. They would not still be around if they didn't see something, right? They would not still be around if, if they didn't think there was still something there, right? It takes a lot of self-control and intelligence to move in a kind of King of Pentacles energy, right? It takes a lot of self-control and because if you're feeling this deeply about them, right? If you're feeling this care and love for them, right, that you are, I can almost guarantee they're feeling it too. Maybe not to the same degree, maybe less, maybe more. Maybe they're feeling even deeper for you than you're feeling for them. Like, there's no real way to know, right? I could pull on it, but I'm not going to. Because the point of this is for you to relax into this and trust it. Trust this person. Now, that doesn't mean put your life on hold. That doesn't mean stop seeing other people. That doesn't mean stop talking to anyone else that you're talking to, right? But pay attention to this person and how they talk to you and how they make you feel, right? Their actions, and you will understand this person through their actions, through their consistent efforts, through the things that they do very consistently, right? You will understand them through those things. You'll be able to see them through those things. And from that, you can see if it's something that you want. And if you want, then you might just have to wait for it. You might just have to have a lot of patience. One card that I haven't talked about here, the Four of Pentacles, right? Also in the position of what needs to be cut out. This card is about stability. Stability being reached, but the goal not completed, right? Which very much speaks to, right? In combination with the other cards that need to be cut out, right? They haven't reached where they want to with you yet, right? They want more. You're just not there yet, right? And they're grounded in that. They're seeing that. They're, right? They want more. They want more, but they are slow. They're slow moving. They are stable, right? And if you've had this very like reversed King of Wands energy, right? Someone that comes in really fast, gets in your pants, leaves, things like this, right? Where, you know, you have that kind of energy around you. It can seem like they're not interested in you because they're controlling themselves, right? But really what they're trying to do is they probably see some amount of what you've been through, right? Some amount of what's happened to you, whether you've told them or not. They've probably, the things that we go through that traumatize us, that leave us feeling heartbroken, they show up in our actions, whether we try to let them or not. They show up in how we talk and how we show up in the world, right? They are a part of us. And that isn't a bad thing. I think this person is smart enough to see that in you. They're intelligent enough. They have seen enough of the world that they can understand that you've been through some of this, right? And they realize that a slow, steady approach would, in the long run, lead to something that makes you feel safe, right? Even if it creates some hiccups along the way, even if it causes some issues, right? Even if it causes some issues, it would sorry, I just thought of something in my own life. It doesn't matter. They realize that this, in the long run, would make you feel safe and make you feel good, and would really mean something to you. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this one here. I hope that helped you, and I'll see you in the next one.